Gavin Bazunu, how are things? How are you keeping?
Yeah, very good, thanks.
We're here, so Roadstone, the Shamrock Rovers Academy, a place you'd have spent a lot of time over the years, but it's a boot room initiative that we're here to discuss today. So Michelle McPhail, who's a wife of Steve McPhail and of course a mother of kids who are playing in this academy as well, they've set up this initiative that allows, I guess, people to donate boots, and you've been one of those people that have donated, I think, €5,000 worth of football boots. So it's a great way of allowing families, I guess, to save money, which is such an important thing in these days especially.
Yeah, I think for me it was a massive, first of all, it was a great idea from Michelle, but I think it was a massive thing that we can give back to the kids and the parents of this football club to release that financial burden from them. We know how expensive new football boots can be, and how the kids want to keep up with the newest boots, and how quick you can grow as a 14, 15-year-old, and you might need 2 or 3 pairs a year. So I think this initiative not only releases that financial burden, but also gives the kids that responsibility to be able to look after the boots when they get them, to keep them clean, keep them in good condition, and then to be able to hand them on for someone else to be able to have them one day.
You have a brother in the academy as well, so it's something that I guess that touches base with yourself. So anytime you come back here, I guess you have the family link as well, you have your own links, but it's just one of those important things. You don't want finances or money to be a stumbling block for someone to be the next Gavin Bazunu, I guess.
No, exactly. It's something that shouldn't have any bearing or get in the way of your development as a football player. It should be something that's a given. So I think for these kids to be able to have that option of, once they look after it and can make sure that it runs well, that they won't have any stumbling blocks in terms of their football boots. And I think this initiative is something brilliant that hopefully other clubs around the country can take on board.
How does it feel when you come back here? I guess it's a strange one for you, because it was 2018 when you left, you were 16 when you made your first team debut here. It must bring back happy memories, and yet you're still only 21. It's hard to believe that you're still so young, having achieved so much in the interim period as well, I guess.
Yeah, for me it's a great feeling whenever I get to be here. Whenever I'm home, I try to get here or to the stadium to watch games, but I'm always keeping in contact with different coaches around the academy, with the first team staff and players, so I always feel like I'm involved.
How do you feel now that the club season is over? I mean, debut season with Southampton, I think you played maybe the first 32, 33 league games, which was quite incredible. And then, of course, the tail end of the season was a bit more difficult after that 3-3 draw with Arsenal, I think it was. But how do you assess the season as a whole? A lot of experience under your belt, I guess, is one way to look at it.
Yeah, definitely a lot of experience. I think the main feeling is obviously disappointment for the end result of being relegated. And I think that's a burden that's placed not just on me but on the whole team, and I think that's going to drive us and give us that hunger to hopefully go in next season and get us back to where we belong. But on a personal note, I think it was a very, very good season for me to be able to get the amount of games that I was able to get the experience that I was able to get, and also to prove that I can play at that level. Some of my best games were against some of the top teams in the world, so for me it was a proven point to me and some other people that I was capable of playing that level.
You strike me as someone for your age like remarkably head screwed on in terms of I guess the psychological side of it. I've heard you talking before about reading Malcolm Gladwell books or psychology books. I know you were someone who was very keen to continue your education and your leaving cert journey before you kind of went over and went over to England and made a career over there. So how important is that aspect for you? I guess as a goalkeeper, mentality is huge.
Yeah, definitely. I think for an elite footballer, you need to have all the skill sets, not just your technique, but also your mentality. And I think especially as a goalkeeper, you know how challenging it can be of a position. There's extreme highs and extreme lows. So I think to have your head well screwed on and to be well educated in that area, that psychology is very important.
Do you pay any attention to media criticism or anything? I guess every goalkeeper in the Premier League has to deal with it at some point. Is it something that you pay attention to? Do you read papers? Do you watch the TV coverage, or do you completely just ignore it, I guess?
I'm not the type of person that will do either. I'm probably in the middle. I'm not someone who will scroll and look for things. I'm not also someone who will completely abandon myself from my phone or whatever from the social media aspect, because especially in the Premier League the scrutiny is so high you can't get away from it sometimes. But for me, I'm my own harshest critic. I know what I need to do and I know how I need to do it, and I trust the people around me to give me the right information, so anything on the outside doesn't affect me at all.
Do you still follow the Shamrock Rovers results closely? Is it something that any time on a Friday night or whatever it is, you'll open up the live score and flick on the results? Is it something still that's close to your heart, I guess?
Yeah, but I'm never on the results because I'm watching the games.
Right.
I haven't missed a game this season, whether it's watching it live or watching it the day after. I'm always on hand to get the games whenever I can, obviously when we're not playing at the same time, but I'm always keeping up and talking to some of the people around.
Growing up in Fairhouse, like were other sports on your periphery, or even do you look at the likes of Stephen Cluxton in Dublin GA circles, or and kind of little pinpoint little things from his game, for example, over the years, or is it just completely soccer all the way?
I think probably up until the age of 13, 14, I tried my hand at every single sport there is, and even now, if I get the opportunity, I love trying new things. But yeah, probably from 15 onwards, it's only been football.
I don't know, Pep Guardiola is someone that has kept in touch with you. I guess he has a lot of ex-players that he can't keep in touch with everyone, but that experience working with him and working with Edgerton as well at Manchester City, what did you take away from that? Because that for a young footballer must have been eye-opening, but also you must have learned so much.
Yeah, it was an incredible period of learning for me in my career. But I think the biggest person was Xavi, the goalkeeping coach. He was one that taught me a lot of the things I know today, but also one of the people who I still keep in contact with every now and again, and I get advice from, and I think he's someone that's always going to be very important to my career.
The international games, of course, a bit of a mixed bag in the last couple of windows, but I guess in September, the French and Dutch games, I mean, you hear the media reports that he needs 4 points, Stephen Kenny, to keep his job. He needs 2 points to keep his job. But I guess within the camp, you guys aren't listening to any of that. So what's the reflection on Stephen Kenny's tenure so far? I heard you saying to one of the journalists before, this word promising. You're a young squad that have been so promising, but again, you want to get rid of that word now and just start, I guess, delivering results.
Yeah, exactly. For me, Stephen has been incredible to be able to bring through the amount of players he's brought through, and at the start everyone was talking about promising, and I think it's now time for us as players to step up and prove that we're not just promising anymore. We are not the finished article, but we're getting close towards it, and we're all players that are willing and ready to take the responsibility to be able to go out there and get results.
You'll have come up against the likes of Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne in Premier League level. What's Evan Ferguson like to come up against in international break territory? I guess in training it's good to have someone of that calibre, and there's other strikers there between Ida and Parrott and all the rest of the lads. It must be useful for a goalkeeper to have strikers like that you can test yourself against, even in international windows.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have an abundance of quality in the squad. You can see that from training, and even in the goalkeeping department. I think we have 3 incredible goalkeepers, and I think all the strikers will tell you they struggle to score against us.
It must be nice to have that competition between yourself and Queevy and Mark Travers. Like, I guess at international level you need that competition. You need lads helping each other on, because at the end of the day it's a number 1 jersey that all 3 of you essentially are fighting over.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's been massive. I can't underestimate how much those 2 have helped me to push on in my career, and 2 people that I want to see do really well, because for Ireland to have 3 young goalkeepers who are capable of playing at the top level is something really special. What
does the next season bring for you, Gavin? I mean, I guess Southampton, it was unfortunate to get the relegation, but Russell Martin has come in. There's been a lot of turnover with managers, but I imagine the ambition is to bounce straight back into the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, starting back next week with the team, and first idea is to go and get fit, get some pre-season games in, but then get straight back into the season, and definitely our ambition is to get Southampton back to where they belong, back in the Premier League.
Can I just ask you finally, Gavin, like your origins as a goalkeeper? I always, there's what's the famous phrase that all goalkeepers have a certain level of craziness about them, that they've ultimately got into that role in the first place. Even my younger brother is a goalkeeper, and a lot of them end up, I guess, pushed into goals by an older brother at some stage in their early life. Was it a decision on your behalf to be a goalkeeper? Was it a sibling that pushed you in that regard, or how did that decision, if it was a decision, come about?
Yeah, it was quite a late one. I was probably about 12 or 13
right
before I finally decided I was going to be a goalkeeper. I'd played every other position on the pitch, and I just loved to play football everywhere. I got my chance to play it. I don't think I enjoyed playing in goal for the first couple of years. I did it on and off, but probably around 14, 15, when I realised that it was my best position, I started to really embrace the role.
Do you have a favourite save? The Cristiano Ronaldo save, I guess, is one that catapulted you into more international headlines. We all, of course, knew your talent within Ireland, but was that a save that you hold in highest regard, or do you have another save that maybe stands out personally as your individual favourite? You have too many to choose from, you see.
No. I think one of my favourite ones is probably the one against Luxembourg in the away game, and another one from last season would have been one against Liverpool that I won Save of the Month for. I think those were 2 I look back on with fondness.
Listen, Gavin, keep doing what you're doing. We'll follow your journey throughout, and best of luck. We'll catch up again, no doubt.
Brilliant, thank you very much.